Hey everyone, I'm Jeff Christie with Group A, along with Kevin Bader and Savannah Albright to present our case response, Dove, the evolution of a brand, the evolution of a conversation. Just a quick overview of our presentation today. I'll start with a recap of Group D's case analysis. Kevin will then talk about examples of other companies using similar approaches to marketing and the potential risks that go along with that. And Savannah will finish up with our recommendation to Dove going forward. So the analysis recap. Group D talked about the success of Dove as a brand, and specifically their Real Beauty campaign. Dove transitioned from marketing based on the superiority of their products to standing for a message or a point of view as a brand. They took risk in starting this controversial conversation, but it paid off as the Real Beauty campaign was very successful in creating revenues, winning multiple awards, and becoming very popular in the public eye. We will question, however, if Dove is really spreading this message across all product lines as they were intended to do as a master brand. We'll specifically take a look at the men's product lines. Are they reaching the male market as much as they could be? We agree that something needs to be done in this market, not necessarily an increase in marketing, but definitely a change in approach. A couple other ideas that we agreed with were exploring new markets, the adolescent market and the cosmetic industry. We believe Dove could be very successful in those markets. Also agree with strategic partnerships with companies such as Aerie or Olay that share similar views to Dove on these controversial issues. Think that it can only strengthen their message and have a larger impact on the world. Lastly, redefining the Real Beauty campaign as the Beauty Has No Boundaries campaign. I think that's very thoughtful and catchy. It's all-encompassing, and I think the idea of the commercial recommendations fit very well with the message that Dove could be trying to portray in this new campaign. There are a few questions that we have with that. One would be the use of a hashtag. Is the hashtag platform the right platform to portray this message on? Other questions would be, from a marketing perspective, is it smart to appeal to the masses? Will people still pay a premium for products that aren't specific and that anybody can use? Overall, great job with Group D. We agree with a lot of your suggestions, a lot of good ideas. We just believe that there are a few things that Dove might need to fix in their current marketing to their current markets and current product lines that need to be addressed before thinking about expanding into new markets. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Kevin.
Thanks, Jeff. So Dove's success in this campaign was driven by its mission-driven focus, changing the culture within its own organization, as well as controlling the conversation across the country. So we wanted to look at some other companies that had similar successes taking these approaches. First of which was Apple and its Think Different campaign. Now this was a mission-driven marketing campaign which emphasized the company's mission of reaching higher, dreaming big, and challenging the status quo. On the social media front, Coke had tremendous success with its Share Coke campaign and generated tremendous revenue for the organization. Now on the flip side, there's been some instances where these approaches have failed. On a social stance front, Pepsi had the recent incident with the Kendall Jenner ad, which received significant public backlash, and the ad was quickly pulled from all markets. Now, specifically for Dove, we feel that their particular social stance on the Real Beauty campaign is a little bit safer than the one that Pepsi took in this particular ad. So we feel that Dove is relatively safe from that social risk standpoint. Another example was a social media issue where JP Morgan came out with its hashtag campaign called Ask JP Morgan, and it quickly devolved into a assault of the bank and its policies and practices. Now, with the issues and the uncontrolled nature of some of these social media campaigns, one of our recommendations would be for Dove not to do as much of these social media campaigns, because given the issues that are being discussed here, we feel it would be quite a forum for people uploading jokes and inappropriate commentary and those types of things. So we feel that there's too much risk there to launch a social media campaign. Now, with Dove's approach, we noticed that there's some inconsistency that could lead to some issues down the road. The first of which is its Dove Men Plus Care product line. Now, the way that Dove markets this product line currently seems to be fairly inconsistent with its Real Beauty approach. The way this is advertised currently is there's some talk of quote-unquote real men, but it's primarily focused on young, active fathers with young children. They also have some celebrities such as Jay Wright, Drew Brees, Dwayne Wade that do fill in on some of these campaigns, but in our opinion, these don't represent real men the same way that the Real Beauty campaign talks about real women. So we feel that there's a hang-up here that could potentially be exploited by some competitors. Now I'll turn it over to Savannah.
Thank you, Kevin. As our group was reviewing this case, we came across a potential risk to Dove's success with the Real Beauty campaign. So as a consumer, how do you feel when you realize that the company that is promoting Real Beauty with their advertisements is owned by the same company that uses and relies on this type of advertisement? Just to compare the two, Dove and Axe are both owned by Unilever, and as you can see, each one has very different marketing strategies. While they're targeting different demographics, their products are related, so you would expect there would be some kind of strategy in place that would kind of play into each one. As you can see, Dove has had tremendous success with their Real Beauty campaign. However, it's a little disheartening that when you look at the Axe advertisement, they are still focusing on that sexualized ad with the stereotypical models. And it's not just the ad that's on this slide. If you would Google and try to look up Axe advertisements, you'll see that this is the cookie cutter ad that they use across the board. Unfortunately, it really brings into question the authenticity of the Dove Real Beauty campaign. It's great that Dove wants to promote this and they've seen huge success with it. However, you almost have to question Unilever as an organization and their marketing strategies. So while Dove might care about Real Beauty, it definitely makes you wonder if Unilever as a company does, and you would almost have to assume that they don't if it's not consistently used in their marketing advertisements. So we did find a way to potentially mitigate this risk and really curb any potential impact. Our suggestion would be to stick with the Beauty Has No Boundaries campaign. So we would want to stick with the recommendation of Group D, but kind of open it up to really bridge Dove and the Axe advertisements and really focus on real men and real women. So some ways that we can incorporate the real men, since obviously the real women are already accounted for, would be to jump on that dad bod craze. So if you're not familiar, there's been recent research that females actually are preferring dad bods, which I would equate to the males included in the picture below. So females are preferring dad bods over the traditional muscular sculpted male bodies. So it's really a perfect time for Dove to take advantage of this and use those dad bods in their advertisements. In addition, we thought it would be great to loop in the Mountain Man Brewing Company that we used from one of our previous cases. So finding a way to incorporate those Mountain Jacks and Mountain Jills and getting them in touch with their sensitive side, especially for some of those individuals that are working in the coal mines or at the actual lumberjacks or, bear hunters. They really need to take care of their skin and moisturize it. So what better way to loop in that brand than to incorporate them into our Dove ads? And we can even piggyback it to our Mountain Jill and Mountain Jack competitions that we were doing and do special advertisements to spotlight those competitors and the winners of those competitions. So our recommendation would really be to find a way to pull in males and really bridge the gap of the Dove advertisements and the Axe advertisements so that Unilever as a whole is really taking a better look at pulling in real beauty across all of their healthcare products that they have. So that's really a summary of our recommendations. We're really looking forward to engaging with you on the discussion boards. We will be posting follow-up questions for you to answer, and we're looking forward to your thoughts and your feedback.